Just to give you an example, I was talking to this group yesterday, which is actually in the telecommunications business.
So, Scott, you're a partner at Andreessen Horowitz.
Yeah.
Very prominent tech firm in Silicon Valley. What do you get excited about?
A couple new things that we're looking at, which, some of which has been around for a little bit, but, I would call general collaborative consumption, sharing economy stuff. So Airbnb, obviously, an incredibly well-known company that's in our portfolio that we're really proud to be a part of. The whole fundamental theory of our firm is software eats the world. And so we think you're seeing each industry now has the chance to be impacted by software in a fundamental way. And so we're trying to literally go industry by industry and think about what could you actually do if software and automation played a bigger part in this industry. And so you'll see us do stuff in industries that haven't traditionally been in technology, like healthcare, for example, or like education. So we're trying to be forward-thinking in terms of software development in those areas.
If software eats the world,
yeah,
oftentimes the world bites back,
yes.
right? You are taking on major industries. This is not an easy fight of disruption.
Yeah.
What makes one company be able to fight some of these barriers that have been in place for decades? What makes them succeed and what makes them fail?
Yeah, I think there's two things going on. One is you're absolutely right, which is all these new technologies still have to live in the context of the existing regulatory framework. But I think the other piece that people aren't figuring out yet is a lot of this stuff will be new spending and new dollars that didn't otherwise exist, right? So if you think about this as additive as opposed to subtractive from existing industries, that's where we think the big opportunities will be.
What's your advice to entrepreneurs who are coming in and who have the opportunity to pitch, some of the more well-known folks in the Valley?
You have to be incredibly visionary, and you have to basically be willing to kind of do things that are, non-conventional to be successful in this business. It's okay to have crazy ideas. It's okay to be aggressive. That's what we want. At the end of the day, this is an outlier business. And so we're trying to find that very small segment of entrepreneurs who literally are crazy enough to think that they can change the world. And so people have all kinds of great ideas. At the end of the day, though, the question is this person uniquely qualified to go after this business? And can they actually inspire other people to quit their jobs and do something crazy like going to a startup? And so the Valley has created this culture where it's okay to fail, right? And so it allows people to actually go think really big and experiment. And yes, with the understanding that a lot of these things are not going to work, but the payoff, if these things are successful, is so high that everyone realizes this is actually a really good opportunity to go after some of these things.
As an investor, is failure on your checklist for entrepreneurs you invest in?
It's certainly not, it's not a demerit in any respect, right? And so what we're trying to figure out is, if you failed, let's understand why. What did you learn? Like, what are you going to do differently? But there's no scenario in which we would knock somebody out of the running because they actually failed in their prior outcome. The most inspiring thing always is hearing the story of the entrepreneur, right? And to me, Pinterest maybe is a really interesting example. So, we invested in Pinterest a while ago. There were literally 8 people in the company. And Ben Silverman, who's a phenomenal CEO, had this incredible vision for what this thing could be. And you look at the company today, and I don't know his numbers, but he's probably got, several hundred people or something in the company today. And so it's incredibly gratifying. And, we're just literally a bystander in all this. But it's incredibly gratifying to see somebody come in several years ago with a vision, with literally a framework of what they're going to try to do. And all of a sudden, all the milestones they've accomplished along the way, this is what makes this business so exciting.